Hello, everybody out there. My name is Gabriel Beats, and I'm here with Eng Tang. And we wanted to present a webinar today to highlight some of the benefits of crypto mining and some of the opportunities that we have found in this space. So we are part of Mosiac Equity Group, and we've partnered with Tuzi Capital. We have Eng Tang here, who has really developed the specialty of identifying these opportunities. And the reason we're involved and we're interested is because it is like an opportunity of a lifetime. We have a fund that we've partnered with them to put together to invest in purchasing some crypto miners on quite a large scale. And we're here to talk about that. And welcome, Eng. Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me, Gabe. I really appreciate it. We met a few times, and I think we've been talking for a while. You've been talking to Ryan. I'm very excited to present this opportunity today, especially since our background is in real estate. Yeah, I've been investing in real estate since 2009. I'm sure you've been investing longer than me.
Absolutely. So for me, I started a long time ago, 15 years ago now. And it's one of these things where it snowballs. You get comfortable doing it and you start out as a limited partner and you grow and you learn. And then you start branching out and finding other opportunities. And this is certainly one of them. And the nice thing is that on the mining side of cryptocurrency, and we'll get into detail with this for our listeners, it behaves a lot like real estate. So
without further ado, to get into the investment. So this is our first collaboration with Mosaic on Bitcoin mining fund, first of many, hopefully. And I think it's a really great one. I'm going to quickly go through Gabe's going to interject where he can. He knows a lot about Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, but of course, he'll play the role of a curious investor or moderator. Typical confidentiality, blah, blah. And what this investment is really an ability to acquire turnkey miners, which are essentially supercomputers that when you plug them into electricity, and they take a lot of electricity and they run very hot, they're very loud, they make Bitcoin. And I can get into the specifics of that later, but the opportunity is threefold. One, when you have capital at scale, you get significant discounts. This is what this is doing. We're getting a significant discount on miners. When you have turnkey miners, essentially time value of money, you're getting online now, which means that as soon as you guys invest, you guys will be accruing Bitcoin in this fund. In fact, I'm not sure when you guys will be watching this, but tomorrow, August 31st, I am putting a $5 million deposit for this investment to start getting some Bitcoin as soon as the first of the month. The second part of this investment is when there's blood in the streets, you want to actually be the buyer, and capital is scarce right now. So you can get some really great deals. A lot of Bitcoin miners and a lot of people in crypto were reckless. They over leveraged. They took loans and that allowed them to grow. And assuming Bitcoin's at 60K and 100K, it all makes sense. But when Bitcoin's at 20K, then things get a little perilous. Bitcoin miners still make money at 10K, 13K. But when you have a loan, your cash flow is a little bit negative. And so we have the opportunity to acquire some newest generation S19J Pros at a distressed asset price from Gem Mining, a very large mining company. And we have the best of both worlds. One, we are getting essentially their assets that are essentially turnkey. They're essentially almost new. In fact, we have 2,000 of those units in Texas that are essentially being turned on this week. So they've never been plugged in before. And we're getting their contract. That's the most important thing. Energy prices have gone up through the roof. The Ukraine war has really put a drag on energy markets across the world. And it's just been hot in Texas. I didn't know this. It's been hot in Texas. That's been a strain on the grid. If I were going to go and acquire miners, I could probably acquire miners for maybe a little bit more expensive. They wouldn't be turnkey for sure, but I couldn't get this energy contract. That's the key. They signed this energy contract last year before this mad rush into Bitcoin went in. Before China banned Bitcoin mining and essentially all the miners came from China to America. And we're taking advantage of that. And so this is a very short window of opportunity, opportunistically buying miners, investing, putting a lot of money myself into it. I'm very excited about this deal.
Yeah,
I'm going to go through the basics of it.
So I just want to stop real quick and highlight. Eng has been, before he was founder of Tuzi Capital, he worked at Apple. He was one of their corporate executives at Apple, and he's been in the IT space his entire life. But I really want to highlight to a lot of investors that I have that are more interested, that are real estate focused, is that this is like 2008, but for crypto. And for those that started investing at that time, like myself, when 2009 and 2010 came along, you can see where those properties and those assets are right now. And so this is the opportunity where we're jumping on board. It's like 2008 for crypto. It was over leveraged. And these are like almost buying a foreclosure. And except that the foreclosure has good tenants in it and there's no deferred maintenance. It just needs a new owner and the price has to be reset because it was over leveraged. And so we'll go through it and Eng will take us further into it. But I just wanted to highlight that so that you really get a feel of what we're looking at and how excited we are about this opportunity.
And thanks for the introduction. I don't think I properly introduced myself.
No problem.
Yeah,
We're pretty excited about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this investment. I don't think we usually have the slides, but my name is Eng with Tozy Capital. This is our sixth investment in Bitcoin mining. This is our sixth fund. And hopefully the other investors don't know from the past few funds, this is our most economically tremendous level fund, mostly because you're essentially acquiring miners at today's price, at a very distressed asset price. I started investing in real estate right after the financial crisis, just like Gabe. I went to Wharton, I went to Banca Trump, and then went to investment banking, like everyone does in the early 2000s. And then the financial crisis happened. I was part of that, booking some really big subprime loans back then. Everything else is gravy. As an employee, I saw my 401k dip tremendously in the span of a few months. I was very young by then, so of course had a lot of time to recover. But when I saw real estate I gravitated towards real estate quickly because it gave me a sense of security, a security that you get monthly income. And now I'm talking about Bitcoin, and it's like a volatile asset, but Bitcoin mining feels to me like real estate. And I'll highlight all the benefits of taxes and cash flow as we go through the deck. But I've been buying real estate since 2009, and I wish I bought more. I'm sure, like you, I wish I bought more. I wish I had more money back then to buy more.
Yeah, I wish I grabbed as many units as I could, and that's why this has a feel of it. And I'm going to jump ahead a little bit just because I think my investors are going to want to hear it. But the depreciation is up to 90% the first year, and the chances of a depreciation recapture, like in real estate, are not there because you're buying equipment. And I think the other thing is that distributions are monthly. These are monthly distributions. There's a custom way, and we'll get into that a little bit more detail, but you're going to get paid on a monthly basis, distributions, almost within 2 months of this closing on September 15th. And that's got me excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. So, one of the things that I've been in Bitcoin since 2013, so I think everything seems like gravy to me. But what I'm seeing nowadays, as somebody who's day-to-day in this industry, I'm seeing some old timers get back into the market because they're seeing some really great opportunities. You're seeing accumulation happen by the whales. And that's a good sign that you're seeing your smart money taken. So we're buying distressed assets. Gem Mining is a very large investment entity. They have 32,000 miners, and they took a big loan and bought these miners at $9,500 per machine. These are the machines that in the slide. Those are what those machines look like. They're loud, they're big, they look like a desktop. We're buying for $3,300, a significant discount from when they bought it earlier this year.
65% off brand new equipment.
Brand new equipment.
And it's already hooked up. It's ready to go.
Yeah, if you bought machines now, and this is just how the logistics work, you buy it from China, you wait 4 weeks to get it shipped, and you pay a large bill on shipping containers because this is how it is. And then it takes another 2-3 weeks to go to customs. You might have to pay some tariff duties, all these added costs. And then you gotta wait for the hosting, the machines to be turned on. It just takes usually 4 to 5 months. And in fact, that's what happened for these guys. Their Texas machines, which is part of this acquisition, haven't been turned on until this week. And so they bought it all. Yeah.
That's what, I mean, it's amazing. It's like someone went out and built a brand new multifamily property and then had trouble with their loan. And you're picking that up brand new, already ready to go with tenants in it at a 65% discount. That's what this feels like.
It's tremendous. I couldn't be more excited about it. And let's talk about the building. Let's talk about the asset. So part of Bitcoin mining is you have a computer. You plug into, you plug into electricity, and the electricity has to be on all the time. It has to be very low cost. If you plug it in your home, your cost of electricity is usually 3 to 4 times higher than what I'm saying here is 5.75 cents. That reference point means that if you're plugging into your residential home, you're not making money. You're breaking even at best. We're getting really low cost mining with one of the largest, if not the largest, Bitcoin mining hosting companies in the world. They've mined more Bitcoin in the first half of this year. And we're essentially getting a little bit of better diversification as well. We're getting in Texas and North Carolina and in North Dakota. And the yellow parts are where we're currently hosted our other Bitcoin mining sites.
One of the things I wanted to point out, Ing, is these are in a tier 1 site, meaning they're in the warehouses. So they're protected from the elements, they're monitored, they have third-party management essentially, where there's someone always there looking after it and making sure it runs. And the other part with the downside protection and the risk is that with being in, or strategically being in, Bitcoin or mining crypto friendly states, there has been an agreement where, let's say there is a demand on the grid, there are certain opportunities where they may ask these third-party management companies and our miners, hey, we need to slow down for a little bit, let the residential, commercial, everything else catch up in terms of electricity demand. But in return for that, we're going to allow you to have some electricity credits. So even if we need to slow down a little bit to help the grid and be responsible with what we're doing, we're going to get paid for that in a way. And so that's a downside risk that I absolutely love. I love being protected against that.
Yeah, I don't want to get too nerdy, but Bitcoin mining is all about electricity arbitrage. What that means is you want to get low cost electricity. And with Bitcoin mining, you don't have to be online 100% of the time. Your typical Facebook data center, your typical Amazon warehouse, AWS data center, you have to be online all the time. If Facebook goes down, if Instagram goes down, these apps go down, that's millions and billions of dollars to lose in lost revenue. Bitcoin, we're making money every second of Bitcoin mining, every time you plug in. But sometimes electricity cost goes up. And by providing that sellback of that electricity to the grid, we're also able to essentially reduce our electricity costs. That's how we're getting these really low cost contracts. Essentially by curtailing is what we call it, a few hours a day for 4 days a week on 3-4 weeks in the summer, those months, you can essentially get essentially a 25% off your electricity bill by not being on for less than 1% of the time. So it's a really interesting arbitrage advantage, and Bitcoin mining solves a lot of that stuff. Little nerdy sidetrack on Bitcoin mining. Now back to the investment and why I really like the investment. So I want to highlight how does this work, and go into why I think it's like real estate. So you have these computers, they're solving these really complicated mathematical problems. Every 10 minutes, a Bitcoin miner gets 6.25 Bitcoin. We are essentially pulled together with tens of thousands of other computers. And when one lucky computer gets that 6.25 Bitcoin, we share it. And so on a day-to-day basis, we're getting very consistent Bitcoin. In fact, I'm showing you a screenshot of one of my wallets where every day I'm getting $14,000 a day in Bitcoin. And we get it daily. We then send to investors monthly. And I love monthly because that's how I get my checks in the mail with my investments in real estate. And the great thing is that we've created a function and a tool that you can get the cash flow. Yes, you can get in cash. You can get in Bitcoin, a potentially appreciating asset. And if you're getting it at $20,000, that's got a long way to go up. So we can get both cash. For those who don't care about Bitcoin now, this is an absolutely great cash flow investment. So it's Bitcoin, and get more Bitcoin than you could get than if you bought Bitcoin spot market. That's how I can be more excited about this.
I like it because you really got 3 options. You can either receive it in cash, in US dollars. Go ahead and take that principal out. Let's say you get a little comfortable with it. You want to hold some Bitcoin because there's always a belief that it's going to go up in value as it diminishes, it increases in value because it's a scarcity product. And then, but while you're waiting, there is that opportunity where you can stake it or you can lend it out at 4%.
Yeah.
And you're not committed or locked in forever. You can switch this on a monthly basis. Isn't that right, Ing?
Yeah. If we built the platform technology to do that monthly, it would just be way too complicated if we do it manually, but we've done it all automatically.
Unbelievable.
I think Bitcoin it's classified as it's not by the IRS is classified as a real property. What that means is it's like real estate. And it has
You
lots
get
of
a K1.
characteristics. Yeah, exactly. It has lots of characteristics like real estate. You can take a loan against it. Like I'm accumulating Bitcoin, and when Bitcoin's at $100,000, I'll probably have hundreds of Bitcoin to be worth millions of dollars. And I wouldn't want to necessarily sell it because I got these Bitcoin at $20,000. I got this Bitcoin at $10,000. I would have had to pay a large capital gains tax. But what you do with real estate, you can loan against it.
Refinance, you can take a loan against it.
Mhm.
It's an asset.
Yeah.
So,
I've taken a loan against my Bitcoin to buy real estate before. And I took a loan against my Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at $10,000. So at a 25% LTV, I've been able to.
gotcha. I've been in the space since 2016. I fell in love with Ethereum and then rode the 2017 bump in January. And ever since then, I've been excited. And then when this opportunity presented itself, we had to get involved. So let's continue on. Let's see what else is in the deck.
Yeah, so monthly cash flow, we talked about the cash flow, monthly Bitcoin. So on around the mid of the month, you get that. If you're investing with us, you'll get that starting next month in October for September's distribution.
Unbelievable.
Tax benefits. This year is the last year you get 100% bonus distribution. I'm definitely doing that, doing cost segregation studies and on my real estate with a hard asset Bitcoin miner. You can take 100% of that in the first year as well. And because it's essentially almost all of your investment, you're going to get more than 90% of your investment as a K1 loss. We've had investors invest in previous funds where we've only had a month of mining. And so our income wasn't that high because of that short window, but we gave them close to a 93, 94% K1 loss. So you invested $100,000, they got literally a $93,000 paper loss to really accelerate their returns. And
without any recapture.
Yeah, without any recapture. But Bitcoin is down right now, and I think that's why we get this really great opportunity. What I really like about this, and for those finance mining, is what I think of as like an options contract to buy Bitcoin at $10,000. That's our fixed cost to mine Bitcoin today, given the operational parameters, difficulty parameters. What that means is when Bitcoin goes to 30K, we're still mining Bitcoin at 10K. Bitcoin goes to 12K, we're still providing investors 1% a month returns. Bitcoin goes to 50K, you're still dollar cost averaging Bitcoin, creating Bitcoin every month.
I think it's fantastic. And then here's the spread. This feels familiar, like real estate. You get a spread at where price is at. Almost, you could think of the Bitcoin price almost like a cap table in real estate, where your cap rate would be when you sold a piece of property. Walk us through it, Eng.
Yeah, with real estate, it's all about the acquisition. If you can buy the best product, but you're buying it at a high price, it's gonna be tough to make money off it. You can buy the worst product, everything go wrong, but if you buy at a really low price, it'll be tough to not make money off it. Right now, we're essentially getting some really great returns. Bitcoin at 20,000 is conservative model. For the first year, if Bitcoin was staying flat for 5 years, it is very unrealistic and difficulty being held constant. And I'll explain what that means in a bit. We would be returning close to 4% a month returns. In semi real estate, I would love to get 4% a year. And but Bitcoin is actually a levered bet into Bitcoin mining is a levered bet into Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up by 25%, meaning from 20K to 25K, your returns don't go up 25%. Your returns go even more because your fixed costs are your fixed costs. So your profit margins go from 50% to a lot more. And last year, when Bitcoin was at 60K, and we bought miners, by the way, last year in our first fund for $10,000 per miner. And we were mining Bitcoin when it crashed, when it went up and down. And in October, we hit our high of providing investors a return of close to 12% in 1 month.
Now, let me ask you, 12% in 1 month is unbelievable anywhere you can go. 12% in a year in real estate is amazing. But were those the SJ19 Pro miners, or were they a different miner? Was it a similar miner?
So those were older generation miner. And
12% with an older generation miner that you paid 3 times as much, and we're getting 3,300 new generation, energy efficient SJ19 Pro AMP miners, or the Bitmain miners that everybody wants. A no-brainer.
It's pretty exciting. And so this first group chart is talking about what happens when it's flat. just look at the first monthly returns. That's what I look at. It's what I love. I love giving great high monthly returns. And then we also think that Bitcoin will go up. So I think if you're selling Bitcoin every month, and of course, these returns actually go up if you're just holding Bitcoin. But if you're selling Bitcoin every month, you can get a lot more returns. You get really strong equity multiple. And this is dollar cost averaging, selling at today's price of 20,000, 22,000, etc. What I really love is some really great downside protection. And Bitcoin is a volatile asset. It's not as going to be as strong of capital preservation, steady Eddie, because there's a live market that goes up and down, multifamily. If Bitcoin goes down, and we model this from 22K to 11K over 5 years, and you're selling every month, you would actually still net a positive return, and a significantly good one. I think these IRR numbers are like a pretty good real estate investment return. Well, how is that happening? Because if you bought Bitcoin and it went down by half, you'd be down 50%. That's just, you can't do anything about that. It's happening because there's a concept called difficulty. And I want you guys to think of it as competition.
I was just about ready to mention that. Yeah, take us into those details. The stress, it's a downward pressure. The lower the price, the more people are going to turn off. But our entry point is so low, we can keep going well after everybody's out there. It makes sense. It's, if you've seen Forrest Gump, I don't know if you're maybe a little bit younger than I am, but that's what we are. We're gonna be the last shrimp boat. Yeah. We're the last shrimp boat. So if the price goes down, we're still out there. We're still out there mining where other people, they can't afford to.
And that's what has happened over the past few months. When Bitcoin went to 40K to 20K, a lot of miners who had more energy inefficient, had higher energy contract pricing, had older machines, they had to turn off. They just weren't profitable at 20K. Well, our miners are profitable at 10K. When Bitcoin goes down, that'll create less competition. And it's a zero-sum game in Bitcoin. So imagine you have a number of developments and you have the same number of renters. Those same number of renters are going to pay the same amount of price, no matter how many houses are. But if Bitcoin goes up, that means the renters' price they're paying is going to be more. So more people will go into Bitcoin mining when Bitcoin goes up. But if Bitcoin goes down, the same thing happens. You actually make more Bitcoin when Bitcoin goes down. You make less Bitcoin when Bitcoin goes up, but Bitcoin go up, so you're actually making more return. So you're getting a little bit of a hedge on both angles.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Doing it at a commercial grade industrial scale is how you get ahead on it. And it makes it incredibly hard for anyone else to compete against that. It's as Warren Buffett said, you always want those barriers to entries, you want those moats. And because of the cost and the entry at this, it's a pretty wide moat.
It is. And you hit it on now. It's industrial scale mining.
Yeah.
Bitcoin was, a few years ago, was just, you could probably mine Bitcoin in your home and it'd be a cool little thing you can learn.
On a computer.
Run a node.
Yeah. But nowadays, just like anything else, it's like the industrial revolution, but it's come to crypto. And so it is. It's commercial grade, large scale, large contracts, scale of economy, heavy negotiating power. And that just at a low entry price for a long-term investment on a monthly basis, you get cash flow. This is where the returns are.
Yeah. So. And so speaking of long-term investment, we project our miners to essentially run for 5 years. They have new generation miners, so they should last for quite a while. And by the way, I have miners that are 6 years old. They're running now, but that's because I got a really low cost energy contract. Guess we're in Venezuela. So it was a little bit tricky to get there, but it's still running now. So our projection is that these miners will run for 5 years and we're going to run them to the ground. We're not going to sell them. No depreciation recapture. And within the price points where it's at and a reasonable growth, we project 15 to 18 months of return to capital. And then what I really like is that you can get a depreciation benefit, K1 loss in 2022. Remember, 2022 is the last year you get 100% bonus depreciation. Next year will be, I believe, 80% monthly distributions starting the following month after mining. So very excited about that. And then 90% profit share, then return to capital. And I really like this because with Bitcoin, is quite volatile. I know that. We're giving you guys the lion's share of the returns initially because we want you guys to be made whole as soon as possible. And we believe
100% agree with that. I really like that.
Yeah, this has been a very, Gabe, I don't know if you noticed, like our previous 5 funds, we've raised close to $80 million. We're buying miners at well more than this price. It was like double or triple. We were like Gem in some days. We didn't go overexposed. We didn't take any leverage. So we were profitable still, right? We're still running profitably, but our cost base is higher. So your cap rate a little bit higher. So we also have some good tier investment options to provide.
Yeah, this was great
more.
too. This is definitely where you want to be. Walk us through it.
Yeah, so for investors, one gift exposure, typically you're looking at investing a lot higher minimum. So we got very low minimum to accommodate investors, 50% profit share at the typical 50K minimum. And all the models that we've shared is at that investment level. So of course, if you're investing at a little higher level, you get more returns. So 55% profit share and then 60% profit share at $1 million. We are just so confident of this investment. I'm putting my own, and I know Gabe is putting his own money into this investment.
Absolutely.
With a lot of back-end returns. I'm long-term in Bitcoin, and I can't wait to see where this goes. So project timeline, just to close things off, it's going to happen essentially. We're putting funding deadline around September 9th. We have the documents ready. You can talk to Gabe. Take your time. Ask as many questions as possible. This is what I always like to do. I'm
Absolutely.
An engineer. I'm in tech. I love to understand every little thing, but understand that also I've done this 6 times. We have tens of thousands of miners. This is not my first rodeo, and I'm excited to have this partner with Gabe and his team and his investor base to really provide something that hopefully is the first of many. In fact, I don't know if you noticed, Gabe, but based on our first investors, we launched a very small fund of around $4 million in early last year before all this craziness happened in Bitcoin mining. I saw the foresight that it was going to industrial scale. 80% of those investors have invested in 3 or more of the subsequent funds. In fact, 40% of them have invested in every fund. And that's subsequent. How many? I love that they're just repeat investors.
That's a sign of a great operator right there. You're putting people first, putting your investors first, getting their capital back to them, getting in the deal, and then getting them out of the deal in terms of getting their principal back to them as soon as you can. And you're rewarded for that because you've won their trust. And I think that's important. And I think that, we're going to have a lot of interested people. The other thing that I encourage people to do is, especially with me, is for those that are interested either in real estate or in something like this, even if it's not the right time for somebody, Ing, I always encourage people, just follow along. I'm very transparent about stuff. I can let people know where it's going, where we're at. If we did meet challenges, where are those challenges, how we overcame those challenges, how we turned that challenge, and found the silver lining and turned it into an opportunity. And so even for those that may be on the fence, no problem at all. Follow along. We're going to have plenty of opportunities. So
I love that ethos. To be honest, this is a great opportunity. And that's how I think about it as an opportunity. We're not selling. We're just providing that opportunity because I'm in this industry. I know Gabe. I like working with Gabe. I want to create a long-term partnership with him. And I want you guys to learn, I think, so many ways to get tax advantages, cash flow, and I love real estate. Most of my investments in real estate. I have a lot of senior living, and Gabe has a lot of multifamily, and I'm not going to stop buying real estate. But when an opportunity knocks, I try to open the door.
We're the same way. I love being able to provide passive income opportunities. We want to work smarter, not harder. And whether you're doing your day job or you're asleep at night, you're accumulating appreciation and passive income. And that's just a real nice security blanket.
Yeah.
So.
What I'm really proud of is that we have provided 5 funds in the past and 1,000 people have invested with us, but around 80% of them have never had that. Part of this journey, guys, is an education journey. So some of you guys, me and Gabe, we like crypto. We know, we didn't go into details of the technology, the crypto, all the use cases of it, why 21 million Bitcoin, 19 million Bitcoin mined, 2 million left, and take 120 years, all these little technical details and stuff. But I love the fact that I'm introducing a whole new asset class in a very relatable way to people who I would love to show you how to set up a wallet, what that is, how to set up these things, how to use these products that I think are going to be more and more core to our daily lives. Crypto is a new technology platform.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think you guys already have a great program set up to onboard people, walk them through it, show them how to get set up, introduce them to like you said, a new asset that has a familiarity and behaves like real estate. It's just in a different technology space, a little bit more modern. Being able to have that program where you walk them through a wallet, show them what the platform looks like, let them get comfortable with it for the first month. And then after that, it'll feel like second nature. You just got to play with it for a little while and get comfortable.
Yeah. And then maybe you're create the next new application or something. Cryptos can be here in the future. And I think Bitcoin is a granddaddy of all crypto.
I think that wraps us up. And I want everybody out there who's taken the time, thank you very much for spending time to listen to us. And I know we're both available. If you have questions, certainly below, you'll know how to reach me. And certainly Ing, if you have any more detail, we can always get together. And we look forward to either having you follow along with us. And if you're truly ready, partner with us and enjoy this opportunity going forward. So thank you. I really want to say thank you very much, Ing, for taking the time. I know you're very busy. I know that you're getting a lot of phone calls with these opportunities, and I appreciate you letting us co-sponsor with you and participate. And you have a fantastic team out there in LA. And thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, and look forward to a long and fruitful partnership.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great night.
Take care.
Take care.